In today's pattern we're going to explore the Summer Waves crochet blanket. This is a really neat blanket using Bernat Blanket yarn, and I'm going to show you how to do that next. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the Summer Waves crochet blanket, and you will see that there is a wave action going on in this particular Afghan. This could be considered for beginners, but easy also is a great level. But if you're new to crochet you can probably get this done as well. So this is featuring the Bernat Blanket Brights yarn, and there's different types of Bernat blanket. There's more of a contemporary kind of idea, as well as that there's a baby version. All of the versions are the same, it's just they have a different color palette depending on the brand that you're gonna get. So what we have today is to do this particular size Afghan. It's a generous size of 55 inches by 60 inches. You're going to need what it has for the pink, Pixie Pink. You're going to need 4 balls, and the Lemonade Variegated, and this is Lemonade Variegated that you see here. You're going to need 3 balls for that. Of course you can substitute your yarn for this particular idea to create your own colorways. You will need a size L 8mm crochet hook, as you see in my hand. Let's review the chart next, and I'll show you what's going on in this pattern. So this pattern consists of an interesting look, and we have a repeat pattern from rows from 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so these are the repeat patterns, and what you're looking at here is that you're looking at chains, and you can see here's the diagram key here, and those are the ovals, and then the plus signs are single crochet, and then we have double crochets just like you see. So what you're looking at here in this particular pattern, in order to keep this in the right sets, so you'll notice that there's single crochets on the end on both sides of this example. So this means then there is actually a repeat pattern in order to keep this project in balance. So if you'd like to change the size of this particular Afghan, you keep them in sets of multiples of 8. So you go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, then continue to chain 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Once you're satisfied with the length of the chain, you're going to add 5 extra chains at the very end, and then it'll keep it in balance in order to look like this. You're also gonna notice here is that where we've double crocheted in the one element, in the next row we're gonna double crochet exactly in the same spot, and then we switch then to single crochets, single crochets. So what we're looking at here is that there's a repeat pattern of 3, 4, 5, and 6, and all this is a repeat pattern of the double crochets and the 2 rows of single crochets as well. So this is a really quite an easy pattern to follow, and we are gonna review on how to change color in order to get some really cool looks out of this particular project. So let's grab our size 8mm L crochet hook today in the Bernat Blanket yarn. It is easier to teach this kind of project using solid colors versus variegated, so that's why I'm choosing that today. So let's put this on the hook. So if you're following the pattern exactly what it's asking you to do, you can either make it up yourself with doing multiples of 8 plus 5, or just chain 101 and you will have the right combination in order to do this pattern properly. So let's put our slip knot onto the hook just like you see, and I'm just gonna do in the multiples of 8. I'm just gonna show you a small example in order to get you going. So I'm gonna do a multiples of 8. Remember that the first one never counts as 1. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Are you satisfied with it? Yes or no? If not, continue to do that again. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So if you're satisfied with the length of it and you've done your multiples of 8, you're gonna add 5 extra stitches or extra chains at the end. So 1 2 3 4 5. So this is how I'm doing it if you want to change the size, but if you want it exactly as per the pattern, just chain 101 and you don't have to worry about any of that. Let's begin with row number 1. So in row number 1 we're gonna start immediately with creating the wave look, and so we're gonna go second chain from the hook. So look where the chain is. So just here's 1 and go second down and turn it around and get the back loop only, and you are going to single crochet into that stitch. So everything's in groups of 4, just remember that. Okay, so you're gonna come to the next stitch and you're going to single crochet as well. So we want our goal is to get 4 single crochets in a row. And of course, like any project, starting is always the battle, but once you get started it works out pretty good. So you're just gonna single crochet. So that was number 2 out of 4. You're gonna single crochet the next one. So I'm just working along the chain and single crochet the next. So now that I got 4 single crochets in a row, the next 4 are gonna be double crochets. So I'm gonna wrap the hook coming into the next chain, and I want 4 double crochets in a row. So what we're gonna do in this whole line going across is that we're gonna alternate. So we're gonna do 4 double crochets now in a row, and then we're gonna switch back to 4 single crochets, and you keep going like that back and forth until you get to the end of the chain. Now because of the way that I had you count the chain is that you will end up in balance at the end, and if you've done it to the 101 that they suggested, then you'll also be in balance as well. So now that I got my 3 double crochets, so you see you've kind of gone thin to thick, you're gonna move back then to single crochets for another 4. Continue to do that same idea going all the way across your chain of alternating every 4 stitches between the single crochet and the double crochet, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. So now coming to the end of my row, and the last 4 stitches will be 1 single crochet each, and it happens to work out like that anyway if you're keeping yourself in balance. Getting started always is I'm making it look like I'm struggling a bit, but I'm really not. It's not always convenient to lean over a camera to teach. So the final 4 stitches will be 1 single crochet each, and then you just gotta pull that tight. Okay, so you have like single crochets this side, you got your 4 in a row, and then 4 doubles, 4 singles, 4 doubles, 4 singles will be the end. Let's turn our work, and we're not gonna change color yet, not until the next round or next row after the next one that we do. So let's move on to row number 2. To move on to row number 2, we're gonna simply turn our work, and we're gonna chain up 1. So we're gonna match in row number 2 exactly what you see. So when there's single crochets, you're gonna put a single crochet. When there's double, you're gonna put a double. So let's begin. So the first one is a single for the first 4. So 1, I'm gonna count this out. This is what I would do in person. 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, and now the next 4 in a row will be double crochets. So we've got 1, and now you're gonna really see the waves pop out. 2, 3 and 4. So there's 4 double crochets, so you can see much bigger now, and it balances itself. So the next 4 then will be single crochets. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then the next 4 will be doubles. So continue that same idea going all the way across for row number 2, and at the end of this row we're going to change our colors. I'm gonna show you how I would do it versus how it's asking you to do it. I would completely fasten off my yarn and before starting the next color just to make sure it's in there really good. So then what we have then is the final 4 stitches once you get all the way to the end will be 4 single crochets in a row. And again, that's just a matter of keeping the right counts. So it's gonna look like it's buckling at this moment, but that's because in the next 2 rows everything changes. So where there's singles now there will be doubles, and so everything will be back in balance as we get bigger. So now I'm gonna show you how to change colors. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna cut the string, leaving it on the hook. It's about 8 inches long, and I just want to yarn over and pull it through the loop. Okay, so that locks that now into position, and what I want to do is just turn my work then and start the next row. So I'm going to use yellow, so this is kind of like sky blue, kind of like yellow sun, and I'm gonna create a slip knot to begin. Okay, usually they have you change colors right at the end. I like this way better because it seems to hold in better and it's more of a cleaner look. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to join it to the very first one. So just insert in, and I wanna leave this string down on top of the line so I get it stuck underneath, and I wanna take the string leading to the yarn ball, just wrap it over and pull through to lock it. That's like a slip stitch to start. So we had single crochets in the last 2 rows, so now we're gonna make everything opposite. So this time when we start this row we're going to chain up 3. So this is row number 3. This is part of the repeat pattern of this particular Afghan. So rows 3, 4, 5 and 6 are the repeat. So let's chain up 3, and now put these strings down on top of the line and just double crochet into the next one, keeping those strings on top so they get stuck underneath. And that's a way to hiding in the loose ends. So you're gonna double crochet 4 in the first 4 single crochets. Okay, so now we're doing everything opposite to what was in there. So that's enough for these strings, so just let them fall in behind. We'll cut those later. And now the next 4 in a row will be 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now the next 4 will be double crochets. So we're doing everything opposite to what's underneath. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And now the next 4 are 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the final 4 stitches will be each a double crochet because it's opposite to what's already there. So every color that we're about to do will go for 2 rows before we switch back to another color. So you can either go like alternative like it shows in the pattern, or you can just even choose another color of Bernat Blanket yarn to have some real fun with this. So let's turn our work and move up to row number 4. So turning our work, let's move to row number 4. So in row number 4 everything is identical to what is already in below. So there's double crochets, so there will be double crocheting on top. There's single crochets, will be single on top of those. So let's begin. We're gonna chain up 3 to start, and then we're gonna work our way back. So next stitch is a double crochet because that's what it's underneath. So it's just a matter of matching what's there. So there's gonna be 4 double crochets to begin, and then the next 4 are single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. The next ones are double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And coming back across, the next ones are single crochets, so those will be singles. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. The final 4 are double crochets, so let's finish those off. So 1, 2, 3, and remember in the final end go into the turning chain. So don't go into a gap space, go right into a chain itself. Okay, so right into a chain just like you see in double crochet. So we're now done with this color, so let's fasten this color off just like I showed you before. And what I want to do is I'm gonna bring back the blue. So let's turn our work and go for row number 5. So this is what it looks like so far. So let's go for row number 5 and just create a stitch to begin. Again, leave this one down on top of the line, and this one now in row number 5 we're gonna do everything opposite to what's there. So there's double crochets here, so this time it'll be single crochets. Do you notice something? So I'm bringing blue back. The blue is gonna be the exact identical. So you see how there's single crochets here? Well, they're gonna be single up here now. So just remember that. So even if you change colors like any other color, just remember that it's just opposite to what you see. So we're gonna just join it and chain 1 and single crochet into the same one. Leave these down on top of the line. And so the first 4 will be, and leaving those down on top of the line, will be single crochets. One of the things I had an issue with was the Catherine wheel stitch many years ago, is that I was using 3 colors, and because of that I was getting confused that it switched every 2 rows like it did, and so I was getting confused on the 3rd one just like so. So just gotta make sure that this one, so even though there's a different color here, this one is still looking the same as that regardless of what the color is. So I have 4 single crochets in a row. The next 4 are going to be doubles. Did you notice I just moved the strings back out of the way? Those 4 stitches are enough to hold everything in. So there's gonna be 4 doubles now. And you will notice that the stitch work is gonna start equalizing. It's not gonna buckle. So there's 4 in a row. Okay, so the next 4 are single crochets, and you're just gonna keep going across. So this is 3 and 4. The next 4 are double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the final 4 are just single crochets. So it's exactly like it is on the other blue that we'd already used. So we're gonna keep this color. What I should tell you too, add this as an extra tip, you'll notice that you're always gonna change colors on the same side of the project. So make sure you go into the top turning chain. Don't go into a space, go right into a chain itself for your final single crochet. So you'll notice that all the color changes will be on this side of the project. So this side is like going back and forth like a typewriter, back and forth, and everything happens on this side. So let's move up to row number 6. This is the final, the repeat. So just chaining up 1, and we're just gonna match everything that's already there. So a single crochet into the first 4. And then the next 4, you can see that they're double crochets, they're bigger, so we're just gonna match those. So this is how you would do this particular pattern. As you can see, it's a really not a hard pattern if you're just looking at it from what's consistent and to keep the waves. I don't do many wave patterns like this. I haven't done many in my past, but and I'm not sure why I don't, because it's just they're quite easy to master and easy to remember. So these are single crochets, and I'm just looking. So I would find with myself, if I was doing this at home, or if I was doing this a bigger size, that I would probably be counting for the first few rows of 1 2 3 4, but right now I don't feel like I need to count because I can actually physically see that of the dipping going on within the waves. The final 4 stitches are 1 single crochet each, and then at the end what we're going to do is that you just 4 single crochets. There is no border on this particular Afghan, so here's what it would look like. So all you just need to do then is just trim off your yarn, and because I had you bury in the yarn, you can safely just trim those right down to the project, and then you just have to weave in your stop and starts right at the very beginning and the end, and that would be how you would do in order to do this particular project. So you can see it's really kind of nice. It's like a sky blue and a sun yellow, and this is a really quite an easy project. So if you're looking for something really fun this summer, the Summer Waves crochet blanket using Bernat Blanket yarn may be a great choice for you. Until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. Have a super day. See you again real soon. Bye bye.